Hi and welcome to this Key Learning Initiative video. Today's topic is simplifying radical expressions with variables and constants. In this video we're not using perfect squares, and so we're going to end up with what we call surds. So as we get going, please remember to like and to share my video. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to my channel, and any comments would be really welcome, so please do those. Let's get going with today's topic, simplifying radical expressions. Very important here. We'll work with questions where the product of each number's primes has already been calculated. If you're not sure how to write a number as a product of its primes, I have a video called the ladder method, and that's where we show you how to do that. Some calculators do it, which is great. I will put a link in the description, and so you'll be able to click there and see if you're not sure how to do that. But let's get going with our examples. Simplify the following, and our first example, the square root of 72. First thing we do is we write that as a product of its primes, and so that equals the square root of 2 cubed 3 squared. Next step, we expand it fully, so that equals 2 cubed is 2 times 2 times 2. 3 squared is 3 times 3. And now we've expanded it fully. Next we have to start pairing, and so if we look at it, we have a 2 times 2 which we pair. Then we have another 2 all by itself, and there's nothing we can do with that yet. And after that we have a 3 times 3 which we can pair. Let's see how we go from here. That equals our 2 times 2 that we've paired times our 3 times 3 that we've paired, and now whatever we haven't put in a pair we put back under the square root sign. In other words, we take that 2 that's all by themselves, we take our square root, and we put our 2 under the square root. Finally, that equals 2 times 3 is 6, and then square root 2. So 6 times square root 2. And so if I simplify the square root of 72, it is 6 root 2. Let's look at a second example. Example 2, the square root of 9,000. Again, our first step is we expand it, and 9,000 is 2 to the power of 3, 3 to the power of 2, and 5 to the power of 3. We expand that fully, and 2 to the power of 3 is 2 times 2 times 2. 3 squared is just 3 times 3, and 5 cubed is 5 times 5 times 5. Next we have to pair our numbers. Let's see how we do that. So I've got a 2 times 2 which I can make into a pair. Then I've got a 2 by itself, can do nothing, shame. Then I've got a 3 times 3 which I can pair. Then 5 times 5 which I can pair, and right at the end I've got a 5 all by itself, and there's nothing I can do with that. Let's carry on. That equals my first pair of 2's times then my pair of 3's times my pair of 5's, and then we've got a 5 left by itself. Now we've still got some numbers there that aren't paired. We've got our 2 and we've got our 5 right at the end. Remember how we work with that? Well, we take a square root sign, and we take our 2, our first one, and we put it under our sign, multiplied, and then we multiply it by our 5. Do you see the guys that don't have pairs get stuck under the root sign? That gives us 2 times 3 times 5. 2 times 3 is 6, times 5 is 30. Then the square root of 2 times 5, which is 10. And that is our answer. The square root of 9,000 equals 30 times the square root of 10. Example 3. The square root of x, y cubed. And up until now we've just used numbers. Now we're starting to work with variables. First step, expand it. So that equals x times y times y times y. Now, just like we did with our numbers, we have to work in pairs. So the little x at the beginning is all by himself. We can do nothing yet. Then we've got one set of y's, followed by a y all by itself. Now, that equals my pair, so that equals y. Then I have a square root sign. Anything that doesn't have a pair goes in my square root sign. So I have there an x and a y that don't have pairs, and so under my root sign I have x, y. And there's my answer. Example number 4. The square root of 8y cubed. As usual, our first thing we do is change our 8 into 2 cubed. Next, we expand. So 2 cubed is 2 times 2 times 2, and y cubed is y times y times y. Now what we do is we pair each one. So my first pair, then I've got a 2 all by itself, there's nothing I can do with him yet, and then we have our first pair or set of y's, followed by 1 right at the end. That means, or that equals 2 times and then y. The poor little 2 and the y that aren't paired off, remember, those go under the square root sign. So here's my square root sign. I take my 2 and my y and I put them under the sign. So 2 my y times y. Let's consolidate that or put it all together. So that equals 2 times y is 2y. Then my square root under that again is 2 times y, which is 2y. And so my answer to the square root of 8y cubed is 2y times the square root of 2y. And that's our fourth example. So thank you very much for watching this Key Learning Initiative video on simplifying radical expressions with variables and constants. Please remember to subscribe to my channel if you haven't, like and share the video, and please leave a comment and I can get back to you as soon as I can. Enjoy the rest of your day.